How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis and we've got a new developer blog from the Old School RuneScape team. This is the Skill Cape Improvements project. A very popular idea of the past year and more has been to add little improvements to each of the skill capes, to give them more of a reason to be worn when training the related skill. Well, they agree, and they've been working on a collection of ideas for the skill capes, but they feel some of the ideas could be improved and they want our help. Either post your ideas on the forums or tweet either ModKieran or ModJohnC. If you've got an idea for what a skill cape could have, it's got to fit this criteria. It should only be a small perk. It should not have anything more than a tiny impact on the XP rate for that skill. There should be a circumstance where the perk would actually be useful. There would only be one perk for each skill cape, so if you've got a different suggestion to what they've got currently, then it will be replacing that one. And the stats of the cape should not be changed. So let's have a look at the current ideas they've got for all these perks. Starting off with the attack cape, they want to provide unlimited teleports to the Warriors Guild. It's hard to come up with ideas for melee combat skills, but it does seem appropriate. They thought about having it perm boost your attack level to 100, but it didn't really seem useful at all versus any cape with an offense bonus. Similarly, with the strength skill cape, they want to have the unlimited teleports to the Warriors Guild. I think it's an interesting idea to provide unlimited teleports to the Warriors Guild, because it's somewhere that can be useful sometimes, and if you're someone that's got a high attack or strength level, then you'll probably be wanting to go there quite a bit. Next, we've got the defense cape. They want it to act as a ring of life. It would act as a permanent ring of life, and it would not degrade upon use like the ring does. Next is the range cape. They want the range cape to act as an accumulator. This just seems logical. While not having the stats of the other device, it does give you an alternative, something you can use to show off with, but still have your ammo picked up. Next, prayer. It will provide the effects of the Holy Wrench. This will not stack with the Holy Wrench, but will allow you to save that inventory space rather than having to bring one with you. It seems appropriate for obvious reasons. They thought about making it count as a Saradomin item in God Wars, but they think that this is much better. Now I must say I agree with them. Next, magic. It will provide the ability to cast Spellbook Swap once a day on the cape. This would allow you to use the Spellbook Swap regardless of which spellbook you're using once a day. It would also not require access to the lunar spells. Now I'm a little bit unsure what they mean by that. Do they mean that you don't have to unlock the lunar spellbook in able to use that? If that is the case, I don't like that idea. I'd much rather you have the lunar spellbook if you're going to be using that. Next, hit points. It would act as if you've got the Rapid Heal Prayer activated, which will give you a 2x health restore rate. This would not stack with the prayer. It could though, if they get some feedback suggesting it should. It would have a nice effect, and the prayer after all is low level and doesn't use many prayer points to use. Personally, I kind of like the idea of that. The one thing I would quite like to suggest is instead of having it 2x HP restore rate, maybe having it something like 1.5% HP restore rate. Next, runecrafting. Now they've got two suggestions here. It could act as all of the tiaras, or decrease the chance of degrading your pouches. This would allow access to any and all runecrafting altars, including any future altars if they choose to add them. However, because most runecrafters use the Abyss, acting as all tiaras would not be too useful, so decreasing the chance of pouches degrading when being filled might be a better idea. As a runecrafter, I think having the tiara option would be nice, but only really on the hood. The reason for that is tiaras are a piece of headgear, and a hood is a headgear. However, ModKieran has mentioned that all of these perks they've been talking about would be the cape only. It won't require the hood. As for having a lower chance of degrading your runecrafting pouches, it's a very interesting idea. Currently, I believe it's set at a fixed amount when it will degrade. So the way they've described this makes it sound like it's going to be luck based after that time period set, or they could just extend the amount of time it takes before your pouch degrades, which I think will be slightly better. Either way, I don't think either of these are particularly that good of a reward. Personally, I kind of like the idea of the Wicked Hood in RuneScape 3. Now that did provide multiple bonuses, however I think the best one and the most relevant one we could have in Old School is 2 teleports once a day to any of the runecrafting altars that you would like. Next, construction. They want to provide 5 daily teleports to the portal room of your house. They say that this is similar to the Magic Cape idea, however I'm a bit unsure how. It allows you to have a quick access to your teleport portals and hence should have a limit. This would also mix it up a little from your standard player-owned house teleport to your portal. Personally, I think 5's a little much there. I think it could be lowered to maybe 3. Next, agility. It would act as a graceful cape, including the weight reduction. It allows you to show off your agility cape, rather than having to wear graceful. It seems fitting that when you want to conserve run energy around Gelinor that you wear your agility cape. Next, Herblore. You can search the cape and find a pestle and mortar. You will not be able to do this while you already have one in your inventory. Another one that they would definitely appreciate suggestions on. It does feel a bit weak as a perk, however it could provide help in a few situations. I agree with the old school RuneScape team, it does feel a little bit weak. One potential idea I've got instead would be the ability to clean nowadays, the ability to clean all of the grimy herbs in your inventory. And you could probably do this maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Next, thieving. It will provide the Ardoin Cape thieving benefits. That's a 10% better chance of pickpocketing anywhere in RuneScape. This is unlocked via the Hard Ardoin Achievement Diary. They believe that this isn't devaluing the diary reward. A 99 in 1 stat just for one of the benefits of the diary is fair. True, it is fair, however there's something in my gut that's saying that that's not the best idea. However, I can't really think of any other ideas, and the actual perk itself actually makes sense when you think about it. Next, crafting. It will provide unlimited teleports to the crafting guild. It certainly seems appropriate, and will be a nice little perk for anyone who's wanting to use any of the content there. And in fact, they're thinking that guilds themselves could be a little bit more useful. I think having unlimited teleports to the crafting guild would be very useful. There's a lot of things in there that are kind of hard to use because it's not near a bank, but if you can teleport between there and a bank, then you'll probably have a lot of fun there. Next, fletching. You can search the cape and find a knife. You would not be able to do this while you already have one in your inventory, and this is another one they will definitely appreciate suggestions on. Again, they feel it's a bit weak as a perk, however it could provide help in a few situations. Again, I agree, and I've got an idea similar to what I had for the Herblore Cape. The cape will provide the ability to convert an entire inventory of logs into unstrung bows for maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Next, Slayer. You can persuade your Slayer Master to reassign you the same task you just had once a day. The Slayer Master would recognise that you're a very experienced Slayer yourself and would be happy to let you repeat your last task. This would only be doable once. Once you have used the repeat on the task, the next day you would have to get a completely new task. Next, Hunter. 5 teleports per day to the Black Chins or Red Chins. You'll be able to teleport with your cape to either the Red Chin spot or the Black Chin spot. You'll be able to teleport a maximum of 5 times per day, and with both teleports counting towards the same 5, meaning that you could go to the Black Chins 3 times and the Red Chins twice. Again, I feel that this is potentially too many teleports. I think about 3 teleports would be slightly better. Next, mining. It will provide the Varrock Armor 3 effect. The effect of the hard Varrock Armor is to have a 10% chance of receiving a double ore from the rock you mine, including the XP for that extra ore, all the way up to Adamantite. Again, I feel a bit strange taking a reward off another thing in game, however it does make sense to have this there. Potentially not getting the XP for that extra ore, however I suppose if the Varrock Armor 1's already doing that, keeping that effect wouldn't be that bad. I'm just questioning why that Varrock Armor 3 is giving you that extra experience. Next, smithing. It will provide the Gold Smithing Gauntlet's XP boost. That experience boost, increasing the XP received for smelting a gold bar by about 2.5%. This was another skill they struggled for ideas with, so if you got some suggestions, let them know. Personally, I feel that this is a little bit weak, and I don't like the idea of adding lots more experience to the game. However, I suppose a lot of smiths actually use these gauntlets anyway, so it's not going to affect it that much. An idea that I've got to potentially replace this though, would be having a chance of using less coal when you're creating bars. For example, if you're creating a steel bar, you need 2 coal and 1 iron. When you're wearing your smithing cape, there'll be a chance, potentially like 10% chance, that you don't use one of those coal ores. That wouldn't take effect in the blast furnace because that already uses half the ores, however it would be something that many people will find useful. Next, fishing. It will provide a permanent boost up to level 100. This would hence provide a small boost to your catch rate when fishing. Hence, this will be a very slight XP boost per hour. They think it feels a tad artificial, so if there's any better suggestions, they'll definitely like to take them into account. I agree it does feel rather artificial, however I'm struggling to think of a replacement for it. I do like the idea of increasing the amount of catch rate, however actually just doing that via boosting your level to me feels a bit strange. I think they should just say you've got a higher chance of catching more fish, or potentially you could get 2 fish with 1 catch. Next, cooking. This will prevent you from burning anything. Currently, many items can still be burnt at 99 cooking. Cooking gauntlets prevent you from burning shark, but not dark crabs, sea turtles, or manta rays. They propose that the cooking cape will stop you burning everything currently in game. Now this is an interesting one. Part of me wants to say it should just be a really high chance of not burning. However, there's another part of me saying, you're a cooking master, you should just not burn them ever. Next, fire making. Your cape will act as a light source. This will be a light source that couldn't go out when failing an agility shortcut or the like. And this will allow you to fill up an inventory space. This makes a lot of sense to me, however I'm finding it a bit strange that the cape would be a light source. Next, wood cutting. It would increase your chance of finding birds' nests. Similar to what people thought the rabbit's foot necklace did, but doesn't, when chopping a tree, there's a small % increased chance of getting a bird's nest drop. Next, farming. It will give a 5% increased yield from herb patches. This would stack with any other boost you can get for increasing yield, for example the magic secateurs. This number could also be changed with ease if anyone thinks it's too low or too high. Next, sailing, if it had passed. It's just left in as a bit of an Easter egg. If sailing had passed and was in game, then this is what the skill cape would have been like. It's like a ship wheel on the back of a blue cape. If we had this skill, it would provide an increased chance of generating a rare event. When sailing, you would have had a chance of generating a rare event based on the upgrades you have added to your ship. If you wear this cape when sailing, the chance would have increased slightly. And don't worry, there would have been plenty of reasons to sail past level 99. Finally, the Max Cape. Firstly, the Max Cape is currently being developed by ModMaz and will be another few weeks away yet. It's far bigger than the other content in the Quality of Life poll, given the graphic requirement for the Epic Emote. This cape will be released before this project, hence they must consider it. So they've got two options for us. Number 1, allow it to have all of the perks simultaneously. Or number 2, allow it to have only one, which you would operate the cape and choose. Given the perks are not really related to one another, they don't really have a problem with it giving all of the perks simultaneously. They are small and only provide a little help. If you've got any other suggestions with the Max Cape or any of these skilling capes, let them know. I think the Max Cape is quite an interesting one. I don't like the idea of having all of the perks at once. However, having the option of picking and choosing which benefit you get is a much better idea that I would support. So a very interesting developer blog. Many people have been wanting upgrades to the skill capes for a long time. And I think a lot of these ideas are very well thought out, and some of them are clearly not well as thought out. What are your suggestions with these skill capes? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to watch the latest Old School RuneScape poll, please click here for Content Poll 36. And if you want to watch the latest Old School RuneScape update, please click here for the Angler's outfit and Slayer. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, dev blogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.